Hello friends, in the previous video we learned about meaning, nature and types of poverty. Whereas in this video we are going to learn about indicators of poverty. The basic question which may arise in your mind is that, sir, what is indicator of poverty? Then indicators of poverty are various factors which shows that whether a particular person is poor or not. For example, if there is a particular person who is not able to have sufficient food, who is not able to have education, who is not able to have his own house, and if you are considering him as poor, then lack of food, education, house, all these things becomes indicator of poverty, because these factors exactly indicate that this particular person is a poor. Okay, so the basic meaning is that various factors showing poverty are indicators of poverty. Apart from these factors, the level of poverty and their components are also called its indicator. For example, if we will say that in India there is 24% poverty, then this 24% is indicator of poverty. It shows that what is the level of poverty in India. Okay, the next question, why we need to understand this poverty? Because it is useful to understand the nature of poverty as well as it is useful to measure the level of poverty. Unless and until we will not be able to understand the nature and measurement of the poverty, the problem of poverty will never get solved. There are total 11 indicators of poverty which we are going to study. Now let's learn indicators of poverty in detail. The most basic requirement of any person is food. So the first indicator of poverty is malnutrition. Here sometimes students make mistake. Malnutrition doesn't mean that a person is suffering from starvation or he is not getting sufficient food. But when he is having food which is lack of calories, protein, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals, then we can say that it is the situation of malnutrition. Due to lots of efforts, we got succeed in increasing agriculture production. But still people are not able to get nutritious food because of two reasons. First is low per capita income and second is income inequality. As the person is not having sufficient income, he will not be able to get proper food and as a result he has to suffer from malnourishment. Rate of malnourishment in India was 23.7% in 1992. But due to lots of efforts, it reduced to 15.2% in 2014 and 16. Friends, if you are thinking that the rate of malnourishment is reduced, then there is one horrible fact that according to Food and Agriculture Order, that stands for FAO, according to Food and Agriculture Order, in the whole world, India stands second in the malnourishment. So this shows that what is the level of lack of nutritious food in India. The next indicator is equally important, which is drinking water facility. Apart from food, person also need pure water. Now drinking water facility and cleanliness both are directly connected with health, because due to impure or polluted water, chances of having waterborne disease will definitely increase. Now let's check the reality. Out of the total population, only 63.3% families, I repeat, only 63.3% families are able to get treated source of water, whereas 8.67% families gets untreated water which is mostly impure and polluted, and 26% families are not getting water from the government. They are managing their water from natural sources such as lake, pond, rivers, springs, etc. So this lack of drinking water facility creates a danger threat to the life of people. Friends, since a long time it is believed that roti, kapda and makan are the three basic requirements of any particular individual. Now, malnutrition and drinking water facility has been covered by Roti. Now, let's move to Makan. Housing is a primary need and basic indicator of poverty. But due to lack of houses, people have to live in hutments and slums, which create lots of problem. These hutments and slum areas are not considered as house. House should have facilities like electricity, tapped water, drainage, veranda, and apart from that, it should be equipped with lots of different facilities. Then only we will consider it as a perfect house. But let's check the reality. In India, most people are forced to live in houses with one room facility only. And 60 crore, I repeat, 60 crore people are living in some dwellings which are dangerous for their health and risky for their life also, which indicate the immense level of poverty in India. You might have seen lots of time the videos that 3 to 4 story buildings are destroyed in just a couple of seconds, which can cause death of bunch of peoples. So here housing is one of the basic indicator of poverty for which government has to take immense steps. Now, just to have a house is also not enough. There should be proper provision for toilets also. Now you may think that's a toilet. Toilet is that much important indicator. But friends, trust me, it is that much important that Akshay Kumar made even a movie on that. And yes, it is important because 70% population of villages, I repeat, that 70% population of villages are not having this facility. And as a result, they are prone to some waterborne disease and contagious disease. So, the cleanliness and toilets both are important. By the way, let's check the fact. 66% population is having within house toilet facilities, whereas 34% population is using common toilets. Now, this 34% population is suffering from lack of cleanliness, pollution, and physical weakness. This physical weakness will reduce their production and productivity. As a result, their income will reduce and poverty will increase. So in this manner, just the lack of toilet, just the lack of sanitization facilities will create bunch of issues. Now, if a person is suffering from health issues, then we should provide some health services. Basically, health services are largely depend on doctors, nurses, and compounders. But in developing countries, there is lack of all such persons. As we learn that in developing countries like India, people are not able to have nutritious food, so their immunity power is very low. As their immunity power is low, they frequently got affected with lots of many diseases. For example, every year in developing countries, 1.7 crore people, I repeat, 1.7 crore people dies just because of malaria, diarrhea, and TB. Whereas in the whole world, 2.3 crore people, dies due to AIDS, out of which 90% people belongs to developing countries. 2.3 crore people who dies in the whole world, out of this 90% people belongs to developing countries. This shows that what is the level of health services available in developing countries. Let's check another fact about these health services. On one side, there is crores of people are dying due to lots of disease. And on another side, there is scarcity of health workers. And the scarcity is on extreme level. In developing countries, one doctor is available at the population of 6,000 people. One doctor per 6,000 persons. Whereas in developed countries, one doctor is available at the population of just 350. It is nearby 20 times lower. And that is why the developing countries are not able to provide better health services. And as of now, while I am recording this video, the whole world understood the importance of health workers as they are working as the warriors against coronavirus. Now, due to scarcity of health services, life expectancy and infant mortality rate both are serious problem, which is our next indicator. Let's see first of all life expectancy. Most of you must be aware that life expectancy means how long a newborn baby is expected to live. Means what is his expected life. This indicator shows many aspects such as living standard, education, health. Basically, life expectancy depends on nutritious food, cleanliness, health services, and pure drinking water availability. In Norway, life expectancy was 81.6 years, whereas in India, it was just 68 years, which shows the difference of health services. Second is infant mortality rate, which means that number of death taking place per 1000 newborn baby. Number of deaths taking place per 1000 newborn baby before completing age of 1 year. To be precise, those infants who cannot celebrate their first birthday are considered as infant mortality rate. Means the child who cannot complete his life up to 1 year also. Then it is considered in infant mortality rate. Very serious problem. And it is again very important for all the countries to let the infant mortality rate as low as possible. Now these factors which are responsible for this infant mortality rate is first, lack of nutritious food. Second is health services. Third is vaccination. And fourth is mother's education. If we will be able to provide nutritious food to the child, if we will be able to provide best health services, proper vaccines, and if mothers will get educated in a proper manner, then only we will be able to keep the infant mortality rate as low. In Norway, the infant mortality rate was just 2, whereas in India it was 39. So, both life expectancy and infant mortality rate are important from exam point of view also because it is frequently asked in exam. Compared to all the above indicators, poverty is much more connected with education because an educated person will be able to get sufficient income. So he will also be able to get sufficient health services, sufficient food, and a better living standard. Here, a person above the age of 15 years who cannot read or write any one language, then he is considered as illiterate. Such illiterate persons are conservative. So they have narrow mind and they will never accept the new ideas and changes in the society. So they are also considered as less acceptable to the society. Apart from that, they are less productive because of their incapabilities in respect of different matters. Now, because of being conservative and less acceptable, they will have limited work opportunity. No one is going to offer them any kind of opportunity for their development. And if someone is allowing them opportunity, then also they will not accept. And due to their incapability and less productivity, their wages remain slow. And as a result, the poverty among these illiterate people will definitely increase. So all the above analysis says that education can work as the best weapon. Education can work as the best weapon to destroy the poverty. Let's check the reality. Literacy rate in Brazil is 91%, whereas in India it is just 7.04%. But still our literacy rate is much high compared to Nepal, which is having 60%, and Pakistan, where literacy rate is just 55%. But still, if we will try to increase this literacy rate, then poverty will automatically get eradicated from the society. Such illiteracy and lower education results into unemployment. And unemployment is again one of the biggest reason for poverty. If a person is having capacity and willingness to work, if a person is having capacity and willingness to work at existing rate and still if he cannot get the job, then he is considered as unemployed. Basically, there are three reasons for high rate of unemployment. First is low economic development, second is jobless growth, and the third one is increase in supply of labor. Now, due to all these three factors, income of person will reduce and he will not be able to satisfy his basic needs. As the person is not able to satisfy basic needs, poverty will definitely increase. Here, government has tried a lot. Government has tried a lot for reduction in unemployment. But let's check the reality. There are some positive results for that. In 2011, there was 9% unemployment observed in India, which reduced to 4.9% in 2014. Here, 4.7% is unemployment observed in rural area, whereas 5.5% unemployment is observed in urban area, which shows that urban area is having unemployment higher than the rural area. Unemployment results in poverty, and generally it is believed that lower income means poverty, but unequal distribution of income and property is equally responsible for lower level of poverty. After the economic reforms of 1991, economic growth took place in economy, and as a result, per capita income also increased. But this per capita income has increased because the income of rich class of the society has increased. Whose income increased? Income of Tata, Ambani, Mahindra and Adani has increased. Income of the middle class person, those who are living below the poverty line, income of such class has not been increased. And due to this income inequality, lower poverty reduction is observed. According to income survey, 1% of the total population is having 9% income of the whole country in 1998. I repeat, in 1998, 1% of the total population was having 9% of the income. Whereas in 2012, it increased to 12.6%. This shows that income inequality is increasing day by day in India. Due to this income inequality, rich persons of the society are becoming richer and poor persons of the society who are deprived of even basic facilities also are becoming more poor, which ultimately increases poverty in economy. Now, due to lower income, the common man cannot spend money for developing his living standard by purchasing some durable goods. So the next indicator is low per capita household consumption expenditure. I repeat, low per capita household consumption expenditure. Now there is a doubt, sir, what is this household consumption expenditure? Here, household consumption expenditure indicates expenses done by any family for durable goods such as TV, fridge, washing machine, etc. Now you can also understand that a person who is not having TV in his home, who is not having even a fridge in his home, definitely you will consider him as a poor. The maid who are coming to our home for our managing our household work, they are also having their TV. So this low per capita household consumption is definitely an important indicator for the measurement of poverty. When we will divide total household expenses done within the whole country with total population, then we will be able to find out what is the average household consumption expenditure. Here, higher expenses for such household products indicate lower poverty, whereas lower expenses for such kind of household consumption indicates higher poverty. Such expenses are high in developed countries in comparison with developing countries, which indicate high level of poverty in developing countries. In USA, such expenses is $31,469 per person, whereas in China it is $1,420 and in India it is just $725. So, in this manner, level of poverty can be measured. The next and the last indicator is one of the basic requirement of life without which in present situation we won't be able to imagine our survival. That is electricity consumption. Electricity is one of the major factor in the development of any country for both increase in production and to improve the quality of life of people also. As we learn in 11th chapter that India is 7th in production and 5th in consumption of electricity. Means we are the major producer and major consumer all around the world, and still because of high population and low per capita income, Indian people are not able to have sufficient electricity. Here per person electricity consumption is very less. If people are not able to get basic utilities like electricity, then it definitely indicates poverty in India. Friends, thus these are 11 indicators of poverty. Generally, explanation of any 5 indicator is asked in exam, or separately some important indicators are also asked for 3 marks. If you have not seen the previous video, then link is given in the description. I recommend that do not forget to like the video, and if you are new then must subscribe to my channel. And if you want all the slides of this video, then follow us on Instagram at elearner_slides. Thank you.